Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Big Corleone of the This Man Her podcast, and this is my co-host, the lovely Lady G, La Doctora. How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is having a wonderful evening, and thanks
Not,
for spending it with us. What happened? What's so
yeah.
what's so funny?
No, I said ain't nobody going to answer you.
Oh yeah, and then nobody's gonna. Well, we have a chat room. If y'all want to hop into the chat room and say what it is you want to say, discuss whatever you want to discuss. We have a lot of shit to talk about tonight. First and foremost, I want to ask our doctora how she been, how you doing, how's everything going?
Good. Just got back from, a little break from work a little bit, but I'm back into the swing of things.
All right.
So good.
Hey Amanda, how you doing? How you doing, Amanda? Everything good? Hope everything is good. So yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, everything's cool. Everything's all right. You know what I'm saying? We're alive. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So that's
It's
something.
always, yeah, it's always something to be happy about.
Yeah, always, definitely. So we have a couple topics at hand that we're going to talk about, discuss tonight. We also want to throw it to the chat room as well. If there's something you guys want to hear us discuss, something you have, and something you want to talk about, throw it right at us. You know what I'm saying? We'll be more than happy to, discuss whatever it is the fans want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So, first of all, we're going to start off with a situation. One of the fans of the show wrote in and asked a question, and he wants, I guess, some kind of advice or something on his situation. So he has his situation. He owes back child support, right? He owes back child support, and he owes a substantial amount of money in child support.
Mm.
Now the problem is that he has two kids. The one kid he doesn't pay child support for anymore because he's out of school, and he's over 18. He's like 20 something now, whatever. But now his other child, the problem is that legally, if the child graduates high school and doesn't continue schooling, I'm assuming the child support should stop, right?
In the state of New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
kids get child support till their 19th birthday,
19. Oh, so it's not 18, it's 19.
unless they go to it's 19 their 19th birthday. So when they hit their 19th birthday, that's in the state of New Jersey, that's when childhood stop or child support stops. If they decide to go to a trade school, any kind of secondary education, as long as they're taking 12 credits or going full time, um, support can continue until the age of 23.
Okay. So his situation is like this. His kid graduated high school, didn't go back to school at all. Child support was still being deducted. And then what ended up happening was the he says the kid moved to Florida with a fiance, boyfriend or something, and now lives in Florida, but the child support is still being deducted where the mom lives in some other state somewhere else. So
Right. So
he,
basically, New Jersey. contacted the mother, asked if, informing her that child support would stop at 19 unless she requested an extension and could prove that the child was attending some kind of secondary um, education.
Mm-hmm.
So before it cuts off, about 6 months before, everyone receives a notification and a request to submit if they would like to ask for an extension. So somebody asked for an extension, and that's why it's still collecting, because nobody has filed to have it terminated.
Also, you have to file to get it terminated. This doesn't automatically stop.
No, it should, but she may have uh, filled out the application to have it continue. But it
Mm-hmm.
was his responsibility as the person paying. It was his responsibility to file to make sure uh, that the child support was terminated.
Mm,
I see something in the chat. What's going on?
right there.
Oh yeah, and he has to pay. He has to pay. Thanks, Melissa. He has to pay his arrears, so that's probably also why it's still coming out. So the child
Right.
support,
So,
the active child support, may have finished, but he still owes all those years of arrears. That doesn't stop collecting just because
right,
child
right.
support's been
That,
terminated.
yeah, that I know. As long as he continues to owe whatever it is he owes,
That
it's
case is
gonna
going to
cont-
stay open.
it's gonna stay open. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's wild. It's just that what he's trying to say is why is it still adding on to what he owes if the child is not in school or doesn't even live where the mother lives and she's out of state, and why is it still
Well, it
being
doesn't matter if
collected?
she's out of state or not. What he owes no matter where she goes. Um, and I'm not so sure that it is still collecting. It could just be the arrears. Some states actually tack on interest.
Really?
Yeah, like New York, they tack on interest. Uh, where else?
Wow.
Maryland, they tack on interest.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So if you owe, if the child support has stopped and you owe and if you have yet to pay the arrears, money gets tacked on in New York and Maryland
Yeah,
regardless?
if it's their orders, yeah, as long as you owe money, there's going to be interest charged.
Oh shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, cuz see, every state has its own governing laws, even internationally. Every country has its own governing laws. Like for instance, in the state of Pennsylvania, the the age of majority is 18. It stops at 18 unless the child is in high school. State of
Mhm.
New Jersey is 19th birthday, or if they continue to go on to school up to 23. Um, other states stop at 18, and other states, continue on. And if the child is disabled, they can get it for lifetime.
Really?
Yeah.
You are dropping some knowledge. Just how to do that. Not loud enough, but all right. Yeah, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
had no clue that that's how I thought it was 18. I didn't know in this state it was 19.
Yeah, it's
So
19.
even
Well, I mean,
even
it
if
hasn't been that way for a very long time. There used to be a point where New Jersey didn't have a state of majority, a state of emancipation. I mean, a age of emancipation. But they did I don't know how many years it's been. But yeah, it's the 19th birthday.
so so the dude that wrote in and asked the question, there's your answer, bro. And the crazy part about it is, so the state the state that, let me see if he has it in here. The state that the family moved to after leaving New Jersey was actually Maryland.
Mm. Well, see, you also have to understand something. It doesn't matter what state somebody moves to. What matters is the state that the court order, the support order was created in. So
Okay,
there's something called CEJ, which is the state with the controlling order, right?
right.
So even though they moved to 5 million states, right? It doesn't matter as long as they register that court order in their state, it's still going to collect, but it will always follow the state that created the order. It will always follow their state rules. So no matter what state, if it's a New Jersey order, if the order was created in the state of New Jersey, New
Right.
Jersey is the one that controls the order. No other state can modify or change that order unless they register it for modification. But New Jersey will still always own that court order. So they moved to Maryland, that's fine. But it doesn't matter what Maryland's law is because it's a New Jersey court order. So that
Right,
they
right,
that
right.
that the age of emancipation will always be 19, and if they go to school it will be 23. Where somebody who lives in the state of New Jersey but their support order is from Pennsylvania, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter that they live in New Jersey. It doesn't go by New Jersey law because it's a Pennsylvania order. So once that child hits the age of 18 or finishes high school, it's going to automatically be terminated, even in the state of New Jersey, because it's not a New Jersey order, it's Pennsylvania's order.
Hmm.
And so
Knowledge.
some people try to be slick, and they'll close or they let the Pennsylvania order like execute, like finish,
Hmm.
and then they'll try to apply in New Jersey so they can get those extra couple of years. But
Oh
it doesn't
shit.
but it doesn't work that way. The judge will tell you no, because once an order for a child is terminated, you can't get extra time on that.
Hmm. Okay.
So
Knowledge.
yeah.
Love learning new things. I love learning new
And
things.
I'll always be the one to teach you. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh, get out of here, Corleone. But even further than that, even further than the laws, the rules, the regulations, is the whole idea of, and it happens a lot, the back and forth about, some people feeling like it's not fair, that and the funny thing is the law, not the laws, but the tides are changing. It's not
Mhm.
as prevalent as it used to be, where back in the day when people were still like stay at home moms most of the time, things like that, the men really didn't have too much that they could work with. It was, the judges and the courts were really in uh mom's side, right? Because she's the one doing all the raising and things like that.
Right.
But culture has shifted where more men are taking care of the kids, having custody of their kids, and things like that. And judges really are trying to create that joint custody. Um, so men are not owing as much as they used to. But the thing is, whether it's a man, a woman, it doesn't matter. Yes, we still have a lot of work to do in the system. However, it's improving, it's better than it used to be. Um, but the thing is, the point blank is two people got together once upon a time, chose one another, had a child or children, right?
Yeah.
That responsibility does not change just because you're not together anymore. You don't stop being a parent
Nope.
just because your relationship has ended. And what's happening is, you know, men and women, I know people don't believe it because it's a majority of men because that's what they do. But it's women too. There are women who owe thousands of dollars in arrears and child support. Um, the thing is, everybody's always saying, "Oh, well, she should let that go or he should let that go, or why do I have to pay this much or that much?" Um because your child is still your responsibility, and not everyone in this world was brought up to believe that being a good parent involves contributing half of what the child needs or children need. So when people break up, it's all like, well, I don't have to pay for this anymore and I don't have to pay for that because we're not living together or we're not married anymore. And that's just not true. All the states have a formulary where they compare how much time the children spend with both parents, what are the incomes of both parents, and that's how they determine, you know, uh, the amount of child support that is paid. But a lot of people, and it's funny because it happens unfortunately more to women, where the guys talk them into dropping the child support or
Hmm.
um, dismissing the arrears. And if they do that, I mean, that's their choice. That's their choice. But you also see a lot of people who come back again, especially women who come back and want to reinstate that. And because they'll say, well, he promised that if I dropped the case that he would pay me so much a month. I don't care who you are. If you believe that, there's something wrong. Because nobody, I mean, even though you're on probation by doing that, the truth is the only fair way to do it is to go through the system,
Yeah.
because it keeps the checks and balances for both sides. It
Right.
ensures that it ensures that the custodial parent gets the support that they need to raise the child. And then it also ensures for the non-custodial parent that they're doing their part. So it's like, and they can have their checks and balances. And like happens to some people, when you get older and the kids start talking about, you ain't never done nothing for me, and because people are talking in their ear and influencing them, he can pull out his little sheet and be like, yeah, I did. I paid child support for 18, 19, 23 years,
All
and
right.
here's my proof. Here's my receipts.
Yeah. But see, the thing about child support to me is that I think it's not just about a financial obligation to the child. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, it shouldn't. I get the whole having to pay the child support thing. I mean, I've been doing it, or I have done it. I started when I was like 16, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I paid all the way through. My oldest was 23, like you said. You know, and
Yeah.
but it's more than just a financial obligation. You know, it's
Definitely.
it's
Definitely.
crazy. What's crazy is there are
But
some that
yeah, Amanda, I agree with you, Amanda. I see this on a daily basis. So many men working under the table so that they don't have their wages garnished. You know, um, so many men who don't put things in their name so that they don't have their pay taken away and stuff like that. But like you're saying, Corleone, it's more about the sense of principle, right? You can't make someone be a good parent. That's the
right.
unfortunate thing. And there are just people out there that are so wrapped up in themselves, so selfish in a new relationship or whatever, um, that it's not that they don't care about their kids, but they don't care about their kids. They don't, but also some of them just weren't taught. They don't have the skills to understand that you are responsible for the things in this life that you create. Not just kids, but any situation you create, you need to be responsible and accountable for it. But everybody does not want to take that responsibility. Like this, it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, but like my ex-husband, um he's he he's consistent with the payments. But what good? I mean, the payments help to keep the children alive and fed, keep us with a roof over our head. But at the end of the day, what type of time does he spend with them? What,
Right.
so it's great. He's consistent with the financial, but it's not just about the financial.
Absolutely.
People are fighting. Yeah, people are fighting each other just for the sake of getting back at one another. And the only people that suffer in that situation are the children, because they're losing time. They're losing love. They're losing, knowledge, like the things that they can be taught, because one adult is mad at another adult and acting like children.
Yep.
And they make the situations about how they can one up the other one, or because they're angry, how can I get back at them? How can I make them pay? And then even women, let me tell you, I get so disgusted with some of our women, that use the child as a pawn. Well, you don't pay child support, so you can't see your kids. I'm sorry, guys. One has nothing to do with the other. Just because he's a deadbeat in the finances doesn't mean that he loses parental rights to see his children. And that's a little unfair. It's like I'm holding our kid hostage because you won't step up to the plate. No. How about you do everything that you need to do as a parent and be responsible? Let the child, because it's about your child, let the child see
Right.
their other parent.
Right.
Let them
Right.
spend time, because believe it or not, that person is going to show their children who they really are.
Yep.
So, you know, uh, uh, so what, they don't pay the child support, then keep going after them. Keep petitioning to the state to enforce the child support. But you're being very immature and childish when, just because someone's not paying their support, that now you're going to withhold the children from seeing their other parent. You're going to
It's
break your
fucking.
kid's heart just because
It's
you don't have
terrible.
money in your pocket,
It's
you
terrible.
know?
Yep.
I mean, and it sucks. It sucks. But we're not we're not punishing the other parent. We're punishing our kids.
Yeah.
We're punishing our children. And they become resentful after a while.
Right.
But there's just, I've just seen so many people use the children as a way to get back at the other parent.
Yeah.
And it might work for a little bit, but that don't last long, because in the end the kids are the ones that have the animosity and they lose
That's
out.
true. Let me
Yeah.
let me bring in Doves. Hold up.
Mhm.
Yo,
Hey, yo, man, what up?
what's up? Hold on. Lady G was on a roll like she always
Yeah, I
No,
is.
heard.
no, I was done my thought. I was done my thought.
Nah, continue, because you know what I mean. Like you know what? It's so ironic how like you
No,
mentioned
just if anybody has any questions,
how
comments, concerns.
not like it's ironic because like you're explaining the exact same thing that I went through. Now, you know what? I mean, let me roll the windows for this one because you know what? As a man, right? I'm not gonna sit here and play victim or whatever because you know what? Some of the things were self-inflicted. You know, I was
Yes.
in my 20s.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like like if I were to learn how to swallow my pride and like push my ego to the side, like I would have a better relationship with my both my kids' moms, right? But
Yeah.
I didn't. So you know, like like my oldest daughter's mom, she really, like you said, used my child against me, and I'm still trying to clean that up as we speak. And today's her birthday. Happy birthday, mama. Daddy loves you. She's 21, right? She's 21 today. So, like today, our relationship is eh, like here and there. But I text her, like I text her the most, and she, she don't respond like 3/4 of the time, but I expect that, because there was a huge 13-year gap which I wasn't in her life because of her
Hmm.
mom, right?
Okay,
So
so can I ask about that, Dubs?
yeah, go ahead.
So so I hear that a lot too. Like I didn't do something because of the other parent. So when you think back on that, despite what she was doing, right? What do you think you could have done to at least still show your daughter you were
Swallow my
present?
pride. Swallow my
Okay.
pride. That
Okay.
yo, you know what? Um, it's not like I didn't want to see her because I did, but um, truth is I guess I hurt my daughter's mom so much to the point where she hated my guts that she did what she did
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
to take away your child from the father's life. I mean, that's hatred right there. And did I deserve it? I mean, at some point, I mean, yeah, I kind of did, but not to this extent.
And that's
You know,
possible. That's possible. People do take it to the unteenth degree.
you know, not to this extent where I mean, where my relationship with my daughter is kind of is very frosty,
Yeah.
and I don't talk to my daughter about her mom. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'm always going to be the villain in someone's story. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm always going to be the villain. So in this story, I'm the villain, right? And I told my daughter that I was like, yo, you know what? In everyone's story, on your side of the family, everybody's story, I'm the villain. You know, which I was like, I'm not proud of it. I was like, whatever they said, half of it is probably true, and half of it is not.
Right. Right.
You know, I was like, I'm not gonna, sit here and play victim. Like, oh, well, it's me. Nah, I don't, I'm not gonna do that. But to,
So
do
yes, it
all that,
influenced it influenced how you acted and reacted. But that's the thing too. Like I don't care what his other parent does. There's nothing you can do that is going to stop me from showing up even when it's difficult to do so, right? I'm going to
you know
try
what,
to exhaust. Go
you
ahead.
know what, when we went to court, right? My daughter's mom lied on me to the point where it's
Right.
the judge was believing him, you know.
Right, right,
So
right.
I, so I got burned. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, I was a gang member. Um, she said that once upon a time there was guns in the house, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, what? When was this? See, my arrogance in
Yeah.
court also made it believable
Yeah,
what
that
she was
worked
saying.
against you.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, that
because you know what? When she was telling her story, I got up, I started clapping. Mind you, this is in Newark, 212 Washington Street, Essex County. I hate that building as well. I hate that building as much as I hate 595 Newark. You know what I'm saying? They both equally, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait. I can't wait till they implode those buildings. Right? So my arrogance, you know what I'm saying? I got up because I knew she was lying. I started clapping my hands. I was like, that's an Oscar worthy, you know what I'm saying, performance right there. Right? And after that, it just went downhill fast, right? Where I had to go to I had to report to East Orange and do these domestic violence classes and whatever. And I was doing them, but then but see the thing is, right? I told them, I said, yo, I work those days. Is there a weekend? They're like, nope, it's just Wednesday night, right? And I worked Wednesday nights at the time. So I had to do doubles on Thursdays just to do those classes on Wednesdays, right? And then like my supervisor, you know what I'm saying, like my supervisor, my boss says I can't be doing that no more. I'm like, yo, I got something going on. You know what I'm saying? I just got like 2 more months left. They're like, yeah, we can't do it. You know, because like they're coming down on us and this, that, and the third. So then like I try to tell them, and mind you, you know what I'm saying? These DV classes, they cost $35 a piece at the time, right?
What's good,
Also,
Mito?
Hmm.
also, yo, what up, me? So I also have to go to like AA at the time for my daughter's mom, and I'm like, for what? You know, like but then again, I mean, it made sense later on in life, right? And anger management, and I'm coming out of pocket with these classes, but like I'm here doing all this, and then like all of a sudden, like like I get a letter in my house talking about, yeah, um, she's moving. I don't want to sign that letter until I was like forced to go
Right.
back to court to sign the letter. You know what I'm saying?
So real quick. So that's what I was trying to say before. Like sometimes, like when a dude wants to be there and wants to do what he wants to do to support the child emotionally, or wants to support the child, you know what I'm saying, in other ways other than financial, they get some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But yo,
They
you know
get
what
Well,
though?
also
they get
because, but part of that is because whether we like it or not, you can support your children emotionally, physically, but that doesn't feed them. That doesn't clothe them. So why does one parent have to be responsible for all of the financial um
right,
and
right,
emotional, and you only get
right.
to be there for the
Oh, oh,
emotional?
wait. Could also like bring this in real quick, right? So for 13 years, I was playing. Yo, you know what? I was paying for a child that was mine, but non-existent. You understand what I'm saying? For 13 years
What?
because she decided to up and leave to Maryland. You know. So for 13 years, and mind you, I didn't even know where my daughter was at. The only thing I knew is that she moved to Maryland. I did not know, like what part of Maryland. It was just Maryland. I knew she was
But
there.
did you do anything about it?
Yeah, I was trying to fight it. You know what I'm saying? Every time I try to fight it, yo, listen. Once that, you know what I'm saying, like my see, this is where like I put my foot in my mouth was from the first time. That first appearance in court, it did me dirty for the rest of the times. Because like I'm like, yo, hold on. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost done. It's just that, oh yeah, you haven't been in class 2 weeks. I said I'm trying to rearrange that because of my schedule. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
yo, you know what? I kept on trying, and everything that I tried to do, it just backfired. And she ended up, like taking me to court saying I won't sign the papers, you know what I'm saying, for her to move, and like, she has a better job and chance down there and whatever, right? So
Well, because she was
she ends up
providing to the she was providing to the judge that you weren't providing, and
I
if
was
she
on
was
child
allowed to
support. I
move,
was already on child support. I was already on
yeah, yeah,
child
yeah.
support.
But you
I put
could,
myself
but
on
you
child
could
support.
be, yes, but you can be on child support and still be missing things, right? And then if the
Yes, but
mother
but, but
or
hold on though.
father, it doesn't matter who, can
But hold on
prove
though.
that moving, hold on, that moving would benefit the child more than staying, then more than likely the judge is going to rule in their favor if the other
But but
parent
but,
doesn't
but
agree.
see now, hold on though. You know, like what she like what she did and how she did it. I mean, it was like, yo, it was slick. I felt for the bait. I was stupid at the time. You know,
Yeah.
like like I'm not gonna disclose what she did,
Right,
right?
right.
But like let's just say like it was proof in the pudding for the judge to see. You
Yeah.
know, and that's where the anger management class and the DV class came from. Like, and I'm like, DV, I'm like, yo, so pushing her out the way is domestic violence when I'm trying to jump out the window because she wouldn't let me out the door.
Mm, yeah.
Did you call the cops?
Putting
Why would
putting
I
your
call the
hands
cops?
on someone without
Like,
permission is violation.
but all right, you know what I'm saying. But also, you know what? When someone's trying to leave out the door and you run in front of it, you know what I'm saying, like holding me hostage or whatever, you know what I'm saying, for an argument that I'm
But
trying to
that's
like
not
leave
causing,
because
yeah, but unfortunate. Right. Yeah.
like like yo, you know what? And I'm trying to push you out the way so I can get out. You know what I'm saying? And yet, like I had to be forced to jump. You know what I'm saying? Jump out the first floor window. Thank God it's the first floor. But I had to jump out the
Yeah.
window. So it was like, like I'm telling you, everything just like, if everything that could have gone wrong that day went wrong. And every time I went to 212 Washington Street in Newark, it was just wrong. Like same thing with 595 Newark. You know what I mean? Like it was just a sense of dread. So it was like, um, my kids are adults now. Like I said, my daughter just turned 21 today. You know,
Yeah.
I wished her a happy birthday and whatnot. And like we had a little talk that made me feel better. Like
Yeah.
it really made my day. Because like I'm still like like I have to rebuild the relationship with her,
Yeah.
right? And it's like everything that I missed out on. Like it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like it hurts. But God gave me another opportunity. So I mean,
Which is good. But sometimes we don't, as human beings, we don't always think, like people call me an overthinker, but being an overthinker is what helps me to stay out of those type of situations
overthink is the
because
best thing ever.
yeah,
To be
because
honest,
you think it over and over. You've thought of every, so that when we make decisions, when overthinkers make decisions, basically you can be guaranteed that whatever decision they made is the decision that they've made because they've thought about all the millions of ways it could go wrong. So you can be sure that when an overthinker makes a choice, that that's really their choice. Because we've already thought about how it would go wrong, how it could go right, and we're sure that that's the decision that we want to make. Um, but sometimes
awesome,
we
Doctor
do,
Seuss.
we do.
You you know what? Like when I start overthinking, right? Like not to be funny, but like if anyone ever seen what's it called? Um Avengers Infinity, that part with Doctor Strange is like trying to figure out ways to to beat Thanos. Like that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to a situation, I'm thinking of everything, like trying to get every base covered or whatever. Like and like yeah, you know what? Like sometimes my girl be getting pissed off. She's like, "Yo, why you overthinking for?" I'm like, "Because." You know what I'm saying?
Because it's how some people function. See, that gets me because it's like all of us, every single one of us have different experiences, different upbringings, different environments, different everything, right? And none of us were brought up the same way. None of us value the same things.
Right.
So the way we act and react to things is going to be different. But we walk around expecting everyone to think, feel, and act like us. And so we get mad and start judging people because they don't think or act like us, where to one person it means one thing, but to somebody else it means something totally different, you know. Um it's just it's just amazing how we get caught up in our emotions and we react. That's the human nature. We react due to emotion.
Yeah.
But
Hey, yo, that's true because
if you
be, because you know what? I'm gonna tell you something funny. So like when my son called me that day and told me that he was gonna be a dad, I started laughing. Like that was like my first reaction. Started laughing. Right? I was like, I was thinking, I'll call you back. So I ain't calling back like for like a half an hour, and he calls me back again. He was like, Dad, I'm here. I'm here still laughing. I'm like, bro, you know, because you know what, like to hear that you're gonna be a grandfather. I mean, like you know what I'm saying, like or a grandparent in general. You know what I mean? It's like
You
yo,
guys, yo, I gotta do. I'll be right back. Hold on.
I bet.
Just keep talking. Keep talking.
So so like you know what, like my reaction to certain news is laughter. You know, and like you know what, like I don't mean for it to, you know what I'm saying, like I don't mean for it to be offensive to nobody or like like just be like yo, you know, but it's just that it's how I react
so
to certain things.
what was the feeling that caused you to react that way?
Because you know what, I seen him like like days before, right? And like like he'll come to his house, see his little sister or whatever, right? But then like like he stopped like like coming around like frequent, and I'm like, I was like, all right, you know what? I already know he has a girlfriend and stuff, right? So like he passed by one day. I'm here looking at him, and I'm like this, right? Like eye to eye, like this, right? I'm like, listen, I said, oh, everything's good with your girl. Yeah, all right. Listen, I'm too young to be a grandfather. And he looks at me like this. He's like, yeah, I know that. I know. So all right, just letting you know. And then he stopped coming around, right? And then like
Mhm.
like I'm trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? Like oh, like oh, you know what? He's probably busy and working and whatever. And then like that day he calls me up, and like like what's it called, like I'm home and whatnot, and he's like, Dad, you're sitting down. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh hell,
Yeah.
I said, what's up, man? I said, what you got into? And he was like, um, yeah, you're gonna be a grandfather. I was like, like, yo, I was like, yo, stop lying, man. You play too much. I'm like, look,
But
man,
what
you
was
know,
the feeling? I mean, were you disappointed? Were you angry?
nah, I was in shock, right?
Okay.
Now,
Well, I'm sure one of the reasons he stopped coming around was because you already made it clear to him that
that
that's
was too
not
young
your
to be, yeah,
desire.
exactly. Yo, nah, nah, you know what it was too, like because me having a child like around his age, right, and not being ready for it, what I'm saying? Like I didn't want him to go through that, like
Right.
where everything starts moving like faster than what you're used to,
Yeah.
right? So I don't want him to go through that, whereas like what I'm saying, like everything like like things like like those changes are hard, what I'm saying, like it's hard to adapt to, you know, like
Yeah, but human
the
nature
pregnancy part.
is
Yeah,
I have
like
to learn and fall on my face on my own.
exactly, like, and I don't want him to go through that unless he was ready. I was
My
like, yo,
bad.
I was like, yo, you sure you're ready for this, man? He's like, well, I have to be now.
Yeah, there's
I was
no
like, well,
choice.
I was like, well, you're in luck because like I'm going through the same thing right now. So I'm gonna, like I'm gonna guide you along the way. Like so, like I just so I told my sons, like, yo, first things first. You know, if she starts, like with her, what I'm saying, with her hormones acting up, feed her, feed her. She could be yelling at you, like, yo, you want McDonald's?
Oh my
Like
goodness. How
it
about
changes.
just loving her? Why is it got to
Yes,
be feed her?
feed her, feed her first. Then love her. I told
Yeah.
them that. You know what I'm saying? I say when she's calm, you know, because I was like, because like women when they're pregnant and they have like these hormonal changes, it's like like you're dealing with somebody that you never saw before. Like a different side. So you know, like food is a good place to start.
Oh man. All right. Okay.
Like but other than that, I mean, like that was my nerves. Like I was like, wow, I'm gonna be a grandfather. I was like, yo, my daughter's gonna be an aunt. She's only 2 years old.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm like so I'm like so like I'm like, yo, there's gonna be a huge conflict of interest, because I could just hear it right now. Daddy, Lila's bothering me. I'm like, yo, leave your niece alone. Or like back and forth. Like it's gonna be a huge
Yeah.
conflict of interest, man, because
But that was your own
Yeah.
they're so
fault
close
because
things.
didn't nobody tell you to be old as dirt having more babies.
Yeah, but you know what though? I mean, I had plans, God had plans.
Yeah.
If you want to make God laugh, go ahead, make plans.
Yeah, but the thing is, don't ask for something if you're not willing to take what comes with it.
But I'm taking what's coming with it though. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, you are now. But you saying you're sitting here thinking about them fighting and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I mean, yo, you know what? It's gonna be cute because, but then it's gonna be, but you know what? It's gonna be a huge conflict of interest. So you know what? I already got it planned out. I'm like, yo, listen, come here, both of you,
Well, she's
right?
got somebody to grow up with.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, come here, get your asses over here. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
you know what? You gotta. I'm like, you guys can't be fighting each other. You guys gotta protect each other and watch each other's back.
Yep.
All right?
Yep. That's
Now,
true. That's very true.
like, now who started it? Nah, nah, nah. All right, I don't even care who starts it. Make up. You know what I'm saying? Whoever did what, apologize. Now, please, let me watch the Jets losing, please. Thank you.
Yeah, that's funny. All right,
Yeah,
Pete. All right, so I got two emails here, and we're gonna go over them right quick because I'm sure the ones that I notified the ones that wrote them in that we're gonna be discussing them a little bit. So I have one here. One says, "No man has ever loved me. I'm a 39-year-old woman. I've had a number of long-term relationships, three significant ones that that I was in love with where I was in love with my partners. I recently came to the realization that none of my partners has ever been in love with me, although I have been in love with them, and that's got me feeling absolutely worthless and unlovable.
man.
I'm not even sure what the question is here. I guess I guess I just want to know if others have been through what others have been through and if anything at all helped them. I feel like either I'm completely unlovable or men aren't capable of love. This is
Man, son.
causing issues in my life. I've gotten to the point where I can't trust anyone, not even my best friend. I just feel like no one truly likes me at all. I feel like disappearing forever. And when I think about it, I realize I literally not one single person would care if I disappeared forever. We care. We don't want you to
Whoa,
go
whoa, whoa,
nowhere.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Hold
whoa.
on, hold
Slow down.
on.
Slow down.
I don't know what it is about it. I don't know what it is, but if you need this, if you read or if you read this much already, thank you. Um yeah, that was that. So I don't how can somebody think they're unlovable? I
Because
Unless you don't
mean,
love
when
yourself.
enough people betray you and lie to you and make you feel less than, um, and that's just been the pattern of your life, it's very easy to feel that way.
No, that is true. Because you know what?
I
I felt
mean,
that way before. I'm like, yo, you know what? I used to yo, you know what? Like, I used to be so depressed, right? And thought that nobody loved me. You know what I'm saying? Like to the point where I'm like, no woman loves me more than a Hennessy does. And yo, you know what? And I would drink. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll cry in my bottle. You know, like I was bad drinking. You know, like I would like, but that's how I felt. I felt worthless at the time. You know, like shit. You know what? Sometimes I feel worthless right now because of my current situation where I'm not working right now because you know of what happened 4 years ago, right? Like it
but
makes me feel
that doesn't that makes you feel
but
unlovable though.
but but yo, you know what? You know what? Like yo, you know what? The mind is a very fragile. The brain, the human brain, is a very fragile muscle because once I can't speak for everyone else, but like my thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Like once like a negative starts, you know what I'm saying? A negative thought starts like brewing in my head and I start thinking about it, it's like the juggernaut from X-Men. It doesn't stop, you know? So it's like, like I have to constantly remind myself that yo, I'm here for a reason. Like the same way this person has to constantly remind themselves that they're here for a reason, you know?
Right,
Like
right.
like
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 what's what all right. So you you need to feel like you have purpose, right?
of course, that's what it is,
And
and
value. I
And yeah,
exactly,
mean,
exactly. And value.
okay, so for instance, right? When you have a whole bunch of people telling you, oh, hold on, I see. Yes, you have to learn to love yourself first. Um, but not just even just loving yourself first, but believing in yourself. Believing in all the
absolutely.
work, believing in all the work that you have done for yourself, all the things you have accomplished, um, and giving that value, right? So the funny thing is when you're always like there's this saying, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right?
Yeah.
So when people keep telling you how
Those
nice you
dresses
are,
are ugly.
oh gosh, how nice you are, how pretty you are, how sweet you are, you get all these things about you're likable, you're lovable. Okay, then if that's so true, then why am I not likable or lovable enough for you?
You got to look at
Or,
the world and how it is. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, you know what? First off, you know what I'm saying? Like social media, for example. Social media made this world such a vain place. You know, like
yeah,
so it's like, and then like like you're looking at couples, quote unquote, right? You're looking at what I'm saying, most people looking at their lives and whatever.
Absolutely, Amanda.
they're
You got to know
looking
your
at
That
fake.
worth.
They're looking at
yeah,
fake.
exactly,
They're looking at the
exactly.
picture. Facebook fake.
Exactly.
People,
Like like you know what, and you know what example, right? Like you see some couples there, you know what I'm saying, like wearing pajamas together, and they're like, yeah, they're so happy. Like 3 days later, like um the wife is dead because the husband shot him. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? So it's like so it's like, what are you really looking at?
You
Like you know
also
what I
got
mean?
to
Like
remember when you see those things and they're so beautiful, so wonderful, you have to ask yourself, what price are they paying to get to that perfect picture?
Well,
exactly.
Right?
let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Amazon has matching pajamas for about 15.99 each, right?
Yo,
Oh
this
my
dude, bro.
goodness.
So
There we
so
go.
so then 15.99 each. So that says 32, and then yeah, about 40-50 bucks if you count if they have Prime or not with shipping. It all
Will you
depends.
stop? You're funny.
See you, but but
But okay, so
but
say
but
it's the wife who wants to have those pictures taken, right?
Right.
yeah,
What does she have to sacrifice or promise to get the husband to agree to that
a
and be
steak.
Well,
able to?
I could think of a few things, but that's just in my head.
Yo, steak and
No,
mashed
no,
potatoes would be good.
I'm talking real stuff, Corleone. I'm talking real stuff. Um, like I'm trying to think.
What
blue,
what
blue
string
blue
what
PJs would be
strings she
better.
what strings does she have to pull? You know,
Yeah, like
like
did
just
she have
like
to promise to wash his drawers every day? Like what is it? What price did she have to pay for that? Or vice versa for the man? For him to get his wife to do something or do something he likes, right?
Right.
What price does he have to pay or sacrifice just to get her to do that and
laundry,
make it look perfect?
laundry. Like I sacrifice. Like look, you know what like one thing, like since I'm older now, right? And I keep saying this because it's the truth. Since I'm older now, you know what? Like those quote unquote sacrifices to me is not really sacrifices, man.
Yeah, but
Like
not everybody
I
is like that. Like what
no,
looks
absolutely.
good, yeah, what looks good on the outside doesn't, like there could be a woman who, is with someone because there's stability, financial, all these things. But in order for her to be able to have that feeling of safety, financial, stability, he's got to beat her butt every day, you know? Or she has to do some crazy messed up whatever. Like it's not always something as simple as cooking and cleaning. It could be something really, really horrible. Like we
Yeah,
have to
like eating my
remember that
chili.
what?
Yeah, like you know what? Eating my chili.
My chili's good, man. My chili's banging, bro.
Nah, true, true, true. There's no lies spoken on about that part.
Well, maybe
That
he wants her to all right, maybe he wants you to sit down with him during football Sunday, and football is not her thing.
yeah, I mean
That
that
and
could be it.
that can be difficult,
Yeah.
But
you know? Like
see,
let me put it
you
this
know
way.
what though?
In order to have my ex-husband dance with me, I had to sit for hours and watch him play video games. Like
But
That
why
might
not
not
do
be a
it together?
sacrifice, huh?
Why not do it together? That would have been fun.
No, I hate playing video games.
Oh, all right.
Like I tried, I really did, because my thing is, again, I was a therapist, so my thing is I have to practice what I preach, and sometimes you have to do, just because your partner loves it, likes it, or whatever. Sometimes you have to, sacrifice a little bit to do it for them, not because you like it, but just to be a part of it.
Right. Right.
But when that becomes the norm, then you start to get resentful. Like, yo, why do I got to be doing this all the time?
Right.
And, you don't
No,
do
absolutely.
what I want what I want to do, and then it just becomes a tit for tat, back and forth, well, I'm not doing this if you don't do that. And
But
it becomes
but see, you know
problematic.
what though? For you know what though? For like this person that wrote the letter, that sound like 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 she's not loved. I mean, like that's crazy to me. But I
But
understand
that's
it though.
what it feels
But
like.
but
Yeah.
I
And I
but
do
I
too.
but I, it's crazy to me. But I understand it because you know what? I've been in those shoes before. Like like, and it's a horrible feeling. Like to feel like that you like you have it in your mind that you're worthless. Like you're backtracking on everything. Like, oh, everything failed around me. I'm worthless, and this, that, and the third. So it's like
And
so.
not even just
And
feeling worthless, but when you're still alone, it's
yeah,
like
like it's
you're trying to prove yourself wrong, but my proof is, here I am, and I'm still alone, you
yeah,
know?
but but see, you know what though? Like patience is always a virtue. Like
Yeah, it is.
you gotta be patient. Like you know what? Like right before my relationship, right? Like I came to terms where I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm alright if I die alone. Because like I actually I'm making changes in my life. Like I'm starting to like love myself again. Like, but like I'm also like like cleaning up my act. Like I stopped drinking. You know, like everything started like moving in the right direction. And the next thing I have a girlfriend now. You know, like I wasn't looking for it, and that's the funny part.
Maybe that's what it was. You weren't looking for it.
Yo, you know what? I mean, you know
When
what?
you
Let me
start
scratch that.
focusing on
Let,
you,
yo, yo, wait, excuse. Let me scratch that. What I'm saying, girlfriend. Like I have a soon to be wife at the house.
What did you
And
say? A
that's
soon to be ex-wife? What?
nah. What I'm saying. I have a future ex-wife in the house. Nah, I'm just playing. Soon to be wife at the house. You know, soon to be wife at the house, right? You know, I wasn't looking for it. Like that was the last thing on my mind. Like me, I was like me. Like I was like, yo, you know what? I'm doing. I'm doing this, that, and the third. I'm actually doing things right. Like I started like reading the Bible. Going back to church, right? Like everything's moving. What I'm saying? Everything's moving. But like, see, the thing is, I wasn't even thinking about it. Like I was just doing it. And Corleone could tell you. Like when I hit my rock bottom part. Like when I got my DUI. To me, that was my rock bottom. What I'm saying? Because like, I mean, it could have been worse, right?
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I always say, like one thing I do remember is sitting in the precinct, right? And when the coke and the perk and I started sobering up, when all that left my body, like the feeling left, I was like, bro, I am 40 something years old and I'm still doing shit like this. I'm like, yo, I gotta get my
That's a
life together,
terrible
dog.
feeling, right?
I'm like, yo, for 30 years, like yo, you know what? I've been getting arrested since I was 13. Like for 30 years I've been doing this shit. I'm like, something's gotta stop. You know, and like yo, you know what? I actually sat there, right? And I was like, yo, you know what? A change gotta come. Like I'm like really on some Sam Cooke stuff. A change gotta come, right?
yeah, but if you
So
don't make the change ain't coming.
Yep.
exactly, so like and like what? It was like the first time I ever. It was the first time I felt ashamed that I was like in handcuffs. Because other times I just didn't care. I'm like, yeah, whatever. What I'm saying? Like you know what? I didn't plan things through. I did what I did, whatever, whatever, right? you know, that was like the first time I felt ashamed. And you know what? And I'm gonna say it right here, like I say it all the time. I could have caught a drug charge too because I had pills in my pocket that they didn't frisk me right. So I ended up going to the bathroom, right? Act like I was washing my face or whatever, and I swallowed those pills again. I was like, my last ones, right? The irony of that is the same pills I swallowed that I was taking for fun. I actually now need it for chronic back pain. I'm probably gonna need it for the rest of my life, but that's either here and there, right? Um,
So
but
I
you
got a
know, like
question for you. I got a question
so
for you then.
so you know what? Like I sobered up though, you know, and all this happened. Like look, you know what? What I'm trying to say is this, right? When you
You know
start
he's old and
concentrating
he's
on
gonna forget
yourself,
that question.
no, no, no,
Isn't it
no, no.
funny?
I'm no, no. You know what? Real quick, when you start, yo, you know what? When you start, like like trying to, like making changes and look at the positive of what you could do, right? Everything else, those so-called failures you feel, like it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter because yo, you know what? I feel plenty of times I keep failing, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You want to know why?
Well,
Because
fail
I know,
forward. Take that failure
yeah,
and add it,
exactly,
apply it
exactly.
to your
You
life
know,
and move
so
forward, bro.
exactly. Like what choice do we have?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So at this point in your
What's
life,
up?
do you feel like you love yourself?
Yeah, I love myself, but
Do you feel you have purpose now?
I feel I have purpose. But right now, I'm gonna be honest. Right now, I've been feeling kind of down because um right now I'm feeling like less of a man right now. I'm sitting
It's
on the
grief.
sidelines.
It's
You
grief,
know,
Dubs.
no, 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 exactly. It is. Like, and you know what? And I'm gonna miss something real quick. This is, I gotta turn the light on for this, right? So my pride and my ego would not, still doesn't allow me to accept the fact that I'm injured permanently, right? It doesn't, and I'm here looking at my girl go, my girl go to work, come home, right? And I'm saying to myself, I was like, yo, you know what? It shouldn't be this way, right? And like that's when the negative thoughts start, rumbling. And then like I'm going through like stuff right now, and I'm not gonna say it on here, but that's one of them, like, but I do know it's my pride and my ego. I know that, like I want to be in the fields working, like no, wait, pause, scratch that. I mean, I want to be out there working. I really do.
That
You know?
sounded kind of crazy what you just said.
Yeah, I want to be in the fields working. Like, and I got an arrow. Yo, let me scratch that. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, no, Massa ain't going with me. But I mean, like, yo, you know what? I want to be out there working again, but due to
Circumstances
legality,
beyond your control.
yeah, yeah, due to circumstances beyond my control right now, like I have to wait. And playing this long game is like it's draining, like, and that's another thing that gets me too. It's draining. And that's what makes me feel like less of right now. But
Mm,
like with my situation, we're in the fourth quarter, with 2 minutes left. So I mean, I know something good's gonna come from it. It's all about how long can I withstand. And like
yeah.
sometimes like I just don't have the I don't think I have enough fight in me for it, man, no more, man. Because
Yeah.
like, but however, I still gotta keep pushing because you know what? I got I have a what I'm saying, a
They're
beautiful little
coming for
princess.
you.
Yeah, no, don't say that, bro. Don't say that. My name is not, my name's not good right now, My name ain't good right now. Don't say that. but 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 it's just that yo, you know what? Like sometimes, like I wake up and I'll be like, like I'm Mr. Mom, like
There's nothing
then like
wrong, Mr. Mom.
nah, but not nah, but hold on, listen though, but and then like I'm watching my girl, go, wake up at 6 o'clock, be out by 7, come home at 3, tired, right? And like I'm like, yo, you know what? You're missing, she's I feel bad because she's missing the most important part of motherhood, and I'm here watching it, you know?
The
And like
most
it
important
bothers
part of fatherhood, bro.
yeah, true, but you know what though, it bothers me because you know what? I wish I could be out there working and helping,
Right.
like
But
I feel
what
like
you
I'm not
don't realize
contributing
is you
nothing.
are helping.
I
I
know.
am, but like you know what though, like that part, when it comes to bills and all that stuff, to watch my girl stress, and I could barely do much because workers' comp ain't, workers' comp ain't shit. Like I kind of like, I am kind of lucky that I get a veterans check, but that ain't enough either. Like it's like like the bills are stacking up, and I still have to play the sideline, and it's like that's
Like
where
you
my pride and
said,
ego
bro.
kicks in though. My pride and ego kicks in though on that part because you know what? If it was up to me, if it was up to me, my girl would be staying home. If you want to work, you go ahead and work. Like, but if I can handle it, I'll handle it without a
But
doubt.
can't in this economy, can nobody
No, no,
handle it
no, no,
anymore?
no, exactly. But like like if I could, like if it was up to me, like and you know what, and it's not on some like yo, like oh you don't want your girl working. No, no, it's not that. It's that like I'd rather like carry the brunt of, and you handle what you need to handle, and if you do I guess what? I guess some type of machismo stuff or whatever, like.
Oh
But
yeah.
I grew up, but you know what? I grew up watching my father back. Like my father was taking care of the whole family at one point in time because my mom wasn't working. Like when I was young, I remember like like we were good. You know, and I learned that from watching my dad. And it's like this is something I want to do, and I can't
Dubs.
because what's up?
Amanda's talking to you, B.
Oh, I can't read.
Oh, it says Dubs. Just think what you've
All right,
been through. All
not
right, you
not
can see
not. You know
her.
what? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, no, and you know what? It's gonna work out. It's just that like right now,
These are the
like that's
thoughts
what I'm
that are
saying.
running through your mind.
Exactly. And you know what though? And it's my pride and my ego that fuels those thoughts. You know, knowing damn true and well that I'm sidelined for a reason. You know, like knowing damn true and well that I'm sidelined for a reason, but yet like I want to be out there, but I have to wait. Like I played the long game
Yeah,
long enough. Like so.
right.
But other than that, I mean, I still love myself though. Like yeah, yeah, yeah. Lord have mercy. That- like you know what? I still love myself. What I'm trying to say to the person that wrote that, man, like you, to the person that wrote that, man, like you gotta love yourself first. Love yourself and believe in yourself. And stop looking at the nobody loves me part. You know what I'm saying? Because like the person in the mirror, that's who you should be concerned about the most. If that, you know what I'm saying, if you love that person in the mirror, then anything else, what I'm saying, everything else would really, what I'm saying, like it really wouldn't matter, because that person in the mirror dictates, what I'm saying, everything about you. It all starts with you and it spreads out,
Yeah, man.
like like like
You radiate that shit. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Damn, I
like
just cursed again. Damn it, Lady
Yes, you
G.
did.
like you know what, another thing too, and doctora, I mean, you could either disagree with me or agree with me. Corleone, you could either disagree with me or agree with me, but like like you are energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why like that's why when you go to certain places you catch a bad vibe. It's the energy that's saying permeating from other people.
Oh
So the
yeah.
energy you put out, right? Whether it be on social media or whether it be in person, it's going you're going to attract the same people. Whether you like it or not. Like laws of attraction. So I mean, perfect example, right? I was getting in trouble up here in high school, So my parents sent me down to Miami to go live with my brother. May God bless his soul. Right? To finish high school down there. Right? I felt some type of way. I felt like I was abandoned. Like you just shipped me off or whatever. I didn't look at the long game part. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm older, I totally understand. Right? Like, they'll hope for a change of scenery will change things. Right? But all it did, because you know what, I wasn't willing to change. I attracted the same people that that was up here.
Yup,
Like
you and your
different,
mother friggin'
different.
tita their friends, bro.
Yo,
Títere
exactly. Yo,
friends.
yo, 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 yo. You know what? But yo, but the truth is, it's like, yo, you know what? I
You're one
attracted
of
the
them.
same people. Exactly. You know what though? I
So,
attracted the same
Títere
people, but like
Corleone.
Oh
I attracted the
shit!
same people with just different face, with different
Yeah.
faces. That's it. You know. But it's the energy you put out there, though.
Right?
And like it took me a long time to figure that one out too.
Yeah. All right.
So
All
it's like,
right.
so so it's like, you know what? This person really has to start believing in herself and
Right.
like really
Absolutely.
like loving herself, because you know what? If she does that, everything around her will change. You
Yeah.
know, like the view, like you know what? Her views will change. Different
Well, the
people will
thing
approach
is,
her.
the more we value ourselves, the more we care about ourselves. The funny thing is, the less we give a crap about what other people think and feel about us. We
Exactly.
don't put up. The funny thing is, when we don't put up with people's junk when we value who we are as a person, you know?
Absolutely.
Because then you're not afraid to lose anybody, because you know that despite other people's ability to see your value, it doesn't change. And so once you can realize that and feel that, and it does take a while to get there, you have to do a lot of self awareness, self retrospection, and look, really take a deep
Ooh,
look
it's
at
a big
yourself.
word.
Yep.
Retrospection.
It's the 50 Cent word.
Retrospect. Like
Um,
Word.
you really,
actually
you
45
really do
seconds.
get tired of putting up with other people's stuff, and it becomes so much easier to just
So
leave
You
it
know,
alone.
you
yeah.
you
So real quick, hold
you know
up,
what
hold up.
wait, wait,
Dubs. Dubs.
Lady G, real quick, right? I'm pretty sure back then you was like, when the person wanted to leave, right? Back then, before you discovered, your self love, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you was like, when the person wanted to leave, you're begging them to stay. Now, if a person wants to leave in your life, you'll be like, all right, I'll hold the door open for you.
Yeah, because it's
Like
not their season.
exactly. You know what I mean?
You're so
Like
funny. You're so
adobo,
funny.
adobo, seasoning. Not,
Yeah,
not,
but
but
real quick, go ahead.
yeah.
Finish your thought, bro. My bad. Go ahead, man. Finish your
No,
thought so
no,
I
no, no,
can.
no. Hey, yo, it's all good, bro. It's all good. It's like, you know what, you know what, Once upon a time, I used to be like, yo, don't leave or whatever, because I was scared to be alone. Like, if my girl was to leave right now, as hurtful as it will be, right? Because I'm not gonna say
Mhm.
that, like, you know, like
Yeah,
I'll
nobody's
hold the door
saying it's
open.
not gonna hurt.
Yeah, as hurtful as it would be, right? Like, if that's what you want to do, I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah,
Like,
All right, because we on
I
our
can
grown people shit.
exactly,
we know
like
we know our worth, and that doesn't change just because somebody walks out.
Right. So real quick, to all the fans listening and watching the show right now, we got a contest going on. Go over to the Facebook fan page. Look for the link that says I don't even know what the fuck it says.
you cursed again.
Oh shit. Oh damn. Yeah.
There, damn.
There you go.
Again,
Yeah.
otra vez.
Yo,
It says
we will
win.
be so rich if we charged him every time he said a lisura.
Yeah. So
Otra vez.
go over to the Facebook fan page, vote, enter the contest. The instructions are there. What you gotta do to win something. There's 4 prizes, and yeah, so you get a prize and all this other stuff and shit and everything, and just I can't help it. I
Otra
can't
vez.
fucking help it.
Otra vez. Otra vez.
Yeah, so just go to the Facebook fan page, man. Do what you
Ese
gotta do over
mariconcito
there.
que pierdo vergüenza.
Go over there, do what you gotta do to win yourself a prize. Just follow the instructions, and you'll know what you know you'll win something. So anyway, so now the last email of the night. How do I approach my fiance about accusations made by an anonymous account? All right. So, hello all. I just need a little bit of advice. My fiance and I have been together for 5 years, engaged just over 2. We've had some ups and downs, mostly due to his jealousy, but we've been doing very well recently, or so
That's
I
one red
thought, or so I thought. So he was out a couple of nights ago having drinks with some colleagues and came home around 2 o'clock in the morning, drunk. Not unusual. He always comes home very drunk after a night out. Everything
flag.
seemed okay until the day after when I received a message from an anonymous profile on Facebook saying he had been trying to go home with some 19-year-old girl. They mentioned behaviors that definitely sound like him, but they won't give me any names as to who they are nor who the girl is. I have a bad feeling about this, but I know if I do ask him about it, it will turn into a massive argument and he will then accuse me of cheating on him. So things will go south even if the claims the anonymous profile made are untrue. Any suggestions on how to bring this up to my partner without it blowing up?
Well, first off, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand how, you know what I'm saying, like why you engaged to like 3 red flags in a row.
Well,
Jealousy, come
yeah.
home drunk. I mean,
But
yo, you know
jealousy
what?
can be healthy, so don't go there.
No, yo, listen, you know what? But that type of jealousy though, where like you argue, that's not healthy.
No, that's not.
Like,
But
look, you know
jealousy
what?
can be healthy.
Yes, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like my girl knows how to bake chicken. I tried baking chicken. You know what I'm saying? I left it in the oven too
And you
long.
burned it. Yep.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I mean, I try to blame my daughter. Saying, oh, she did this. You know what I'm saying? But it was actually my fault. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You
So,
know what I'm saying? I'm
so what
jealous.
do
You know
you
what I'm saying?
think?
All right.
What's the other red flag besides the jealousy? You said 3
The, yo, you know what? Like, the fact that, like my man, like, goes, listen, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
comes
You know what I'm
home
saying? So,
drunk 3 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, yeah, and then like, the third one is the fact that, this anonymous, you know, whatever, whatever anonymous, whatever anonymous stuff that whatever the case may be, like whether it's a letter or Facebook post or no Facebook post or like was it an email
It was
or
a
like
message through Facebook.
a message through Facebook. All right, anonymously, right? So
Yeah,
and the fact that it details his behavior patterns when he's drinking.
yeah,
All right, you know what? That right there, you know what I'm saying? She needs to take that with a grain of salt and be like, yo, that was actually him. Because you know what? There is no way, right? That you know what I'm saying, a post that anonymously comes, you know, detailing everything. You know what I'm saying? Like behavioral patterns, behavioral habits, you know? And besides that, you know what? As far as that person's concerned, it's probably someone close to him.
exactly. I was
That's
just
like
thinking that.
that that
I was
that
just thinking
that
that.
that's like, yo, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, you know what? Like he's doing this girl too, you know what I'm saying? She's such a nice girl doing him too dirty. Like, it got soft heart and whatever. It's like, yo, you know what? Gotta tell her.
Soft heart. He wants to get in her pants himself.
Or that too. You know what I'm saying? One of the two. Like, but yeah, you know what? And now if he turns around, you know what I'm saying? If she knows how he is, and he's gonna try to like gaslight and self project, you know, onto you, then you already know the answer.
Yeah. What do you think, Lady G?
Well, well, like I said, I think some level of jealousy is healthy. Um, you definitely have to approach it one with respect, but also
With
re
concern.
yeah, and
Non
reiterating
non
uh
confrontational too.
Yeah, reiterating that, you guys are a team. Um, no blaming, no, accusing until you have facts. Because a lot of people do that. They speak out of their feelings, they speak out of anger and fear. Um, Sometimes it is what they think it is, and sometimes it's not. One thing I have learned is a woman's sixth sense hardly ever lies. It hardly ever lies.
Hold up.
I said
hold up.
hardly. I didn't
Wait,
say
wait, wait, wait,
never.
wait, wait. Hold up.
You
Yo,
know
hold on real
what?
quick. Yo, I also want to point out, like, yes, you know what I'm saying. Your sixth sense hardly ever lie, but like we get that gut feeling too, you know, and
Hold
that,
on.
what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so it hardly ever
Let me tell you
lies.
something. Let me tell you something. I can't, not that I can't stand it, but what drives me up the fucking wall sometimes is when a woman says a woman's intuition is never wrong, right?
I would say
Well,
no.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say, I know you didn't say that, but sometimes it drives me up the wall when some women sometimes say my woman's intuition is never wrong.
Okay.
All right. So if you can sense that your man is doing something wrong to you or has something scheming or something's going on, then why can't you sense when your man is hurting? Why
You know
can't
what?
you sense when your man?
We
And I
had
know, but
this
it
conversation
drives me up the freaking wall when that shit happens. When
because we're
people when
not mind
You,
readers, but we
but you
are
claim to be a
behaving.
you
Listen,
claim to have this sixth sense
yes,
of
because
when
a sixth sense is based on some type of red
then
flag
sense when your
reality.
man is struggling.
If you don't tell me you're struggling, I don't know that you're struggling. Especially when you ask your
act,
man all the
you,
time, "Are you
you know
okay?
what
Are
though?
you okay? Are you
Hold
okay?"
up,
And their
Dubs.
ego gets in the way and they're like, "Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
fine."
yeah. Yeah, you know what? I gotta agree on that one because like I used to do that recently until like you know what, and I kind of still do that in a way, but I have to take my time to like express it out. You understand what I'm saying? Because like sometimes like recently like yo like I've been like lost for words. I'm like yo everything like everything's like I feel like everything's collapsing around me and I'm lost for words
But you're
for it.
not going to
So
let
like
nobody know that.
no, well I let my girl know that because you know
Well,
what
that's
she
good.
asked she was like yo you know what she's like I I could tell like like you're looking at me and you're looking past me. I'm like, no, I'm all right, man. Like, like she's like, I can also tone in your voice. She's like, but I'm gonna let you be until you're ready. So
Mhm.
like like I told her what it was and whatever, and like like she knows when something's wrong. Like the same way I know when something's wrong with her.
Yeah, you learn
I
each
asked,
other.
yeah, like body language and behavioral patterns.
And
Like
sometimes people get tired of guessing, you know?
I'm like, yeah, you know what, like I tell her, say, hey, when you're ready, just say it. She said, no, because you're gonna get upset. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not even gonna get upset. If it's something I'm doing, then say it. You know, like just say it. If I do get upset, so be it. Say it, get it off your chest. You know, and sometimes like the way she be feeling is because of me. You know what I'm saying? Of what I'm not doing, I'll get mad about it, right? And then like like I'll tell her, I'm like, all right, yo, you know what? What I'm saying, like I'm gonna try my hardest to like do more. You know, like but then like if it's something like physical, right? And she gets upset at me for it. She's like, yeah. She's like, but sometimes I have to remember that you have your days where like you're like fucked up, you know, because like another thing too is that I really have my mornings when I wake up and I really can't, what I'm saying, it's like it's mission impossible to get off the bed, but I have to because of my daughter, and like I'm in pain all day, like I'm miserable, you know, so it's like
It's
like
just
she
that it's
understands that, but
yeah,
like
my
but she understands that part, because of what I'm going through, you know, but like back to this person right here, like there's three red flags as is, like And if it's her intuition that's kicking in, then she already knows the answer,
All right.
you know. But to be clear, wait for everything to play out. If he starts projecting or whatever, like you gotta listen to the tone of his voice. You know what I'm saying? Like if he starts projecting like angrily out of nowhere about it, then you know it's true. And I'm only saying, and you know what? It may sound like I'm snitching or whatever, but hey, you know what? I used to do. I used to do that. You know, I used to
What
do that
project?
back then. Yes, back then I used to do that. Am I projecting now? No. Because I ain't, bro. I don't do nothing.
Your conscience is clean, bro.
Yeah, of course. Like, like, like Corleone. Like Corleone knows. Like I'll go pick him up, whatever, right? And then like we riding around or whatever, right? And like every like probably like like every like half an hour, I'm calling my girl to see if the baby's okay, see if she's all right, if she needs anything. Since I'm outside, right? She says no. I'm like great, And then on the way back, I get the phone call. Can you go to Walmart? I'm like, fuck, thought I was all right. Damn it. Anyways, but it's basically like you learn. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
learning
think
who you're with. Like
right.
you gotta learn who you with. Just don't be with them to be with them. You know what I'm saying? Sex may be great. Hey, that's good. Like oh they do this. Oh, they have a jealousy problem. Like Lady G says, sometimes jealous. Yeah, like what when this person said jealousy problem, I thought to myself, yeah, like for dudes to be jealous, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a red flag for me personally because you know what that means you're either hiding something, right? Because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're either hiding something or that person doesn't have the self-esteem that he thinks he has.
Wait a minute. What do you mean hiding something though?
If you're
Usually when
jealous,
people
that
get
means
defensive about things,
they're hiding.
it's
They're hiding
it's
something
because they have something that they're hiding or that they feel
No, but
guilty about.
about the
he
jealousy
said
part.
about the
He's hiding something.
jealousy. He's hiding something.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because he probably got away with things before, and he's projecting. You see what I'm saying? That's the reason why he's jealous. Like example,
Mm,
if he got away with something, and and let's just say some other dudes like like just like like they're friends or whatever, he's gonna what I'm saying be jealous about it because he's gonna be thinking like yo, you know what? I need her for what I'm saying for me. And that's it. Like I don't want that karma coming back to me. You see where the jealousy kicks in? What I'm saying? Because of his conscience. His conscience is not clean. So his jealousy
right.
will kick in.
Right. Okay. All right.
And I'm speaking that from experience,
Right. Right. Right.
you know,
Okay.
because you know what? I've done foul things like that, and I'm not proud of it, but I've done it,
Right. Okay.
you know. I don't do it no more, by the way, because like yo, you know what? First things first is where my heart is at. Secondly, I'm too old for that, yo. Like living double, like who has time for that? Especially in social media, you get caught quick. Like social media made it easy to cheat. It made it easier to get caught. Screenshots exist. Nah, man. Nah. Like I got way too much, you know what I'm saying, too much good on my plate for me to just throw it in
Right.
the garbage.
Right. Right. Right.
Like yo, you know what? I got lobster and shrimp on my plate. Why would I want to go get a happy meal?
Lobster and shrimp. I'm allergic to shellfish, bro. Just
Yo,
saying.
yeah, my bad. My bad. You know what? All right, you know what? I got steak and ribs from
Now we're
Miller's Ale
talking.
House. From
Miller's
Miller's
Ale
Ale
House.
House.
Miller's.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Roo, roo. Right? So why would I want to go get, you know what I'm saying, um, a biggie bag from Wendy's? You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Not for nothing, but those biggie bags be slamming, bro.
Yeah, but yo, you know what though?
You better stay away from them biggie
But
bags.
yo, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. But like, what's more fulfilling? You know what I'm saying? The steak and the ribs or the
Steak
biggie
and
bag?
the ribs, bro. Steak and the
Exactly.
ribs, man.
Exactly. So, but But you know what I'm saying, this woman right here, you know,
I
like,
think I think she needs to sit back and let it play out. I would let it play out because I would need more information than just somebody
yeah, you know,
off the, you
like
know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what happens the next time he goes out. You know what I'm saying? Let's
exactly.
see if, because if it happens the next time he goes out, it's somebody close to him, bro. Then you
Or
want then you got to look at his surrounding his surrounding who he keeps it in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like his
or
boys, like
or or you know what? Or it's probably someone that she knows that saw him,
yeah,
but doesn't know
absolutely.
how to tell him,
Mm.
but doesn't know how to tell her because she is so in love. And if she says something, she's gonna feel like, you know, like she's being the wedge in the relationship all of a sudden, and they're gonna have a falling out because, you know, like, you know what, Lady G,
That
no offense,
happens.
but,
That happens.
yo, Lady G, no offense, but like when women are in love, like really in love with their man, you know what I'm saying, they believe anything and everything he says, like, you know, and they will defend that, you know, I've seen it, I've seen it. So it's like they're gonna defend, you know what I'm saying, defend it, like, you know, to the ends of the earth. Like this dude could be like, yo, the sky is a purple hue, and she'll be like, yes, it is, baby. Knowing damn well there's no purple hues in the sky. So it's like that's the reason. That's probably the reason why the message came anonymously.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So it's like so either which way, you know, like she got a warning shot.
Right.
Either which way she got a warning shot. So you know she
Mm-mm.
better be on the p's and q's.
Yep. Well, there it goes. That's what it is. With that being said, yeah, man. Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy.
by the way, how's everybody's summer so far? Summer's coming to an end.
I'm glad it's coming soon. I can't wait for next week, football season.
Is next week already?
Yep. Amanda says, but how's she gonna trust him the next time he goes out with his colleagues?
Well,
It
you
will
know what?
be
Wait, real quick. I mean, again, I'm not putting women down or nothing, but women are great actors, actresses. They could play it off, you know, like you know, like for instance, right? All she has to do is stroke his ego, right? And he'll leave like there's nothing wrong. That's all you have to do is just stroke the dude's ego. He'll leave like there's nothing wrong or whatever. But yet, you know what? Just keep, you know what I'm saying? Keep an eye on it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
She has to, yo, you know what? She has to play the part. You know,
Right.
if you
Right.
want, yo, you know what? If you gotta catch, you know what I'm saying, to catch a wolf, you gotta be a wolf. You know, like you gotta pay, yo, you know what? Sometimes you gotta play the part
Yeah.
as much as it bothers you. But you know what? If you want the truth, you gotta play the part. You gotta act.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Well, with that being said, once again, with that being said, we're gonna close it out. I want to thank all the fans of the show. Go over to the fan page on Facebook, man. Vote. Do what you gotta do to get those prizes. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for coming by for the night, hanging out with us for a little while. You know how we do it here. You know, that's Dubs of Dawn, Simon Phoenix. That's Lady G, the glorious Doctora.
Doctor,
Doctor.
doctor,
And I'm Títere Corleone.
títere. No, títere. Títere.
Oh man, Dr. Hank Smasham at your service. This has been
And
another
crash.
episode. This has been another episode of This My Her podcast. And Amanda says, you guys have a good night. Thank you, Amanda.
Same to
You
you.
too,
Same to you.
Same to
Amanda.
you.
You know, you have a good night as well.
So with that being said, once again, I'm Big Corleone. That's Lady G. That's Simon Phoenix, Dubs of Dawn. And you know how we do every single week. Or we're gonna start doing it every single week. We're gonna try and start doing it every single week.
Exactly.
Until we fall off again.
Until we
And
fall off
then
again, yeah. And then, you know. But anyway, always remember that at some point, This might hurt.
Might hurt.
Eso me duele. See? I'm
Good
getting my
night,
Spanish.
everybody.
I'm getting my Spanish
Good
up.
night. All right.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night,
Good night.
everybody.
Night.